Okay, this is a class on learning how to learn and to maintain your objective reason in the process of learning, and to be able to see your own truth and all this conflicting data that's shoved in your direction all the time, every day. Okay, when I was a young kid, there I am, a young kid, very bright little young kid, very happy and having a good time and enjoying the life and everything else. I started coming into, the awareness of everything around me, and I started realizing at a very early age that people are not exactly always truthful, I guess is the best way to put it, but yet they have a tremendous amount of belief in the things that they believe in, whether they're false or true or not, but they certainly attach themselves to some really funny concepts. So, what I've discovered in most every avenue of thought that is culturally significant is that you have a group of people, and the group of people can be whatever you want it to be. It's a group of, it's a club, it's a, the Boy Scouts, it's the Girl Scouts, it's the, whatever you want it to be. It's the Army, the Navy, the Marines, whatever it is. It can be any icon that has human beings in it and has a lot of them in it, okay? Doesn't have to be anything in particular, okay? Religion, philosophy, science, business, nationalism, all those are icons. I'll write them down in a minute. But within those icons of culture are the believers. And the believers become what's called the guardians of their truth. Okay? So the believers are always the guardians of their truth, and what they do as being guardians of their truth is they try to make sure that everybody else around them learns to believe in the same truth. Okay? It's a very common thing in every society. It's human nature to do this. Okay? It can be any icon you want it to be. Now the typical icons in society, I want to make this smaller because there's a lot of icons I want to fill on the board. Icons. An icon is an image that represents some form of authority, some form of good, some form of a projection of something that is real. Okay? So the icons are obvious: religion, science, philosophy, business, law, politics, nationalism, pop culture, and the one that's always very popular in our country is called marketing. The simplest term for marketing is it's creating images using icons to sell products. Okay? So what happens is that when you understand the nature of human beings by watching them and seeing what they do, you can study them through different avenues in different areas of life and try to understand what's going on. The only problem is that all the institutions that we use to create our belief system have what's called human beings in them. Okay? So human beings all have the same problem, and that is they believe things that give them security and some meaning for their life. Prop up their ego, give them status, make them feel good about themselves, or make them feel bad about themselves if that's what they like. Some people like to feel bad about themselves. Their life is about feeling bad, feeling victimized, bitching about everybody else, or whatever turns them on. That's the nature of a human being. And some of the happiest people on earth are as big as phonies you can possibly imagine, because what's propping them up is something that has no meaning at all. Okay? So one of the things about this is that the believers are always the guardians of their truth. Okay? And so what these believers do is that here's the little child over here. They take the little child and they convert them to be believers in whatever it is that they believe. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay? And they have a tremendous amount of logic and reasons behind their belief system. The fact that they have logic and reasons behind their belief system helps them to make it more real. And oftentimes what they use is called sideways logics. I'll give you an example of this. This is ridiculous, okay? Let's say I want to start a new religion. And in my religion, my belief is that in order for us to be pure and to be free from all of our bonds of craziness, that all women should be running around naked. Because my belief is that if all women are around naked, then this big impulse of man's desire would be eliminated, because they would no longer have all the desire of all the hidden occult things about not seeing a woman naked. And that'll stop a lot of rape, murder, and pillaging of the earth. Okay? That's my logic. But actually, it's complete bull. I just made this up. But for some people, they would listen to that and think that that was logical, because there's a part of them that likes the idea of that religion. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or that belief system. So there's sideways logic in every belief system. The sideways logic is that the person has a preconceived emotional makeup inside of them that makes them want to believe a certain type of belief system, and so they'll twist their brain around and go, well, that makes sense. That's so logical. Why didn't I think of that? And so what happens is that you impact people based upon triggers inside of themselves that actually create a mechanism whereby they will believe anything. Okay? It's the nature of human beings to believe anything that an icon comes up with, or a religion comes up with. And then if you have thousands and thousands of people believing in this stuff, then that reinforces the belief system. And the thousands of people then become the guardians of their truth, because they're the believers in the system, and they're going to make sure that this guardians of this truth, they're going to make sure that that truth goes on no matter what. Okay? Lots of sideways logics in human beings, because human beings have one thing, all have one thing in common. Okay? And it's called HEMG. Human emotional mental garbage. That means that because they're human, they have an emotional body that absorbs things on an emotional level, almost instinctual level, and those emotions and chaotic feelings then manifest as some kind of mentality that is fed in, and the end result is garbage that comes out. Now, a lot of times garbage, you can't tell what garbage is, because when you look at the garbage, sometimes the garbage looks pretty damn good. Oh man, that garbage looks good. Let's see, garbage could be